That's what's on.
Welcome back to Amka Kenya. The hashtag is Amka Kenya, where you get a head start. It's the top of the hour, and it's time for us to have a look at what is happening on our roads. And who else better to give us the updates than Tony himself? Speak to us.
Yes, Tony Mwirigi is on standby to update you on this amazing segment ambao naipenda sana. Ni segment ambao mimi na ku-update on jinsi hali ilivyo katika barabara mbalimbali hapa Nairobi. Before niweze ku-update jinsi Thika Road inakaa asubuhi ya leo, mtazamaji, naomba nikukumbushe swali la siku. Now, the government is trying to create official fan zone kwa mashabiki ambao watazidi kuwatch michuano ya CHAN. Sikiza kwa makini. And the following are the fan zone that the government is trying to suggest: Uhuru Park, CBD, Lakisama, Dandora Stadium, Utalii in Stima Club, Jacaranda Grounds, and Kibera DC Grounds. Now, the question of the day we're asking you this morning: do you think FKF's plan to create fan zone for ticketless fans to watch matches will help manage crowd troubles? If not, what alternative would you suggest? Tuambie mtazamaji this morning, do you think mpango mzima wa FKF could create those fan zone kama nimekutajia sasa hii Uhuru Park, Lakisama, for ticketless fans to watch matches will help manage crowd trouble? If not, what alternative would you suggest? Mtazamaji, tumeona kwa siku zilizopita tumeona jinsi wa Kenya wengi wameingia kwa idadi kubwa sana katika michuano ambayo ilikuwa siku ya juzi ya Morocco, lakini pia katika mchuano wa kwanza wa Kenya na DRC Congo. Na siku ya jana Kenya imepigwa faini ya shilingi milioni 6.45 kwa kuvunja baadhi ya sheria, na ndio maana FKF inajaribu kutoa haya maoni ya ku-create official fan zone. Tupatie maoni yako, alafu baadaye Alan will be sampling your feedback from Facebook, Twitter and TikTok. Now, let me now update you, because kazi yangu kila siku kina asubuhi, my work it is just to act as an intermediary between you and your boss. Niko katikati yako na mdosi wako, manake mimi sitaki ukosane na mdosi wako, na I always tell you, mapema ndio best. Hivi ndivyo hali ilivyo mtazamaji katika barabara ya Thika Road. Ni barabara ambayo inatumika na Wakenya wengi sana. Mamilioni ya Wakenya wanatumia hii barabara, na mambo ni shwari kabisa mtazamaji. Asubuhi ya leo hakuna msongamano wa magari katika barabara hii ya Thika Road. Ni barabara moja ambayo watu wengi sana wanaitumia kuelekea kazini na kuelekea katika shughuli zao za kawaida, lakini kuna msongamano kidogo wa magari katika mzunguko ama roundabout ya Kasarani, hapo karibu na Kasarani Police Station. Kuna msongamano kidogo, lakini umeanza kupile up, lakini sio mkali sana mtazamaji, na hivi ndivyo hali ilivyo katika barabara hii. Just kusonga mbele kidogo katika barabara ya Kamiti Road, mambo yako shwari kabisa. Same applies to Kasarani Mwiki Road, hakuna msongamano wote wa magari mtazamaji. Lakini tukifocus na barabara hii ambao ni barabara moja ambao naipenda sana, maana mimi mwenyewe naitumia, ambao ni Thika Road, hakuna msongamano wa magari mtazamaji, na mambo yako shwari, yani mambo yako nywe, ukipenda unasema mambo yako vizuri kabisa, smartizo bila matatizo, mambo yako shwari mtazamaji. Na in case mdosi wako unataka ufike kazini 8, anza kutoka sahihi, manake we don't know in the next 30 minutes kama jam itakuwa ama itakuwa, but they always say mapema ndio best. Later on I will be back here nikufahamisha barabara zingine. I will be shifting my gears to other counties including Mombasa, Nakuru and so. But mimi nakuomba kwa njia ya kipole, kwa unyenyekevu, chukua namba ya WhatsApp iko hapa chini. Hiyo namba ichukue, we save. Ukishai save ukiwa barabarani, nitumie picha jamani, nitumie picha, niambie Tony, I'm using this road. All right, I'm using this road, niko Mombasa, niko Busia, niko Kakamega, Meru. Niambie, nitumie video ya barabara ilivyo, alafu baadaye nitarudi hapa hewani hapa kwa hii map, alafu nikueleze jinsi hai leo. Maana kazi yangu it is just to act as an intermediary between you and your boss. Nipo katikati yenu, wewe uko hapa, mdosi wako hapa, Tony katikati, just to update you on the safest and the busiest road this morning. Now, interview leo ambayo Alan anaifanya, mimi mwenyewe anayemuinterview napenda sana sauti yake fulani pale TikTok, na baadaye I will be doing a challenge with him on TikTok. Mheshimiwa, karibu sana.
Thank you.
Mimi na jenzi wenzangu tunapenda sana ile sauti yako. Ile moja, unaijua?
Gani na unajua inakuwa mingi?
Ni moja, una moja nyingine.
Okay, hiyo tutaongea baadaye.
But personally I'm going through a lot.
Lakini hiyo lazima munilipe.
Tutakulipa.
Copyright.
Alan, take it away.
All right, Tony, thank you very much for that traffic update, just giving us a look at what our roads are actually looking at this particular point and time. It's time for us to progress on with the discussion this morning. This morning, I'm seated with Dr. James Nyoro, who was the former Kiambu County governor, to discuss matters devolution, the hits and the misses 13 years down the line. Dr. Thank you very much for joining us this moment. Let's begin with the state of these counties. And I want to make reference to one of the recent reports that was released by the Controller of Budget, dated July running through to December 2024. It basically laid bare how we're doing badly as counties when it comes to devolution. And looking at those figures, out of the 211 billion meant for development, counties only utilize 33 billion of that. Fast forward to recurrent expenditure, we're looking at counties spending 195 billion on expenditure that is recurrent expenditure. Do you think it's the right time and it's the right time to actually start considering relooking at how these counties have been structured in terms of numbers and size?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me at a time like now, when the counties are looking back 13 years ago and taking stock of what has happened and what has not happened. But I think starting with a question like the one that you have asked creates probably a bit of a wrong impression that counties are doing badly, but the country is doing well.
Okay.
I think basically, if you look at the structure of our fiscal space, even from the national point of view, you see that for every, they say that now for every 10 shillings, 7 is spent on paying debt. Yeah. And the remaining 3, a large proportion of it is spent on the current expenditure, whether you are talking about, the staff, wages and so on. So basically, if you look at the whole country, you will see that money meant for development is very limited. And that is not, the counties are not an exceptional. Yeah. What happened, and it's good to go back, is that when devolution started 2013, most of the counties inherited a huge wage bill. Yeah. All the employees that were in municipal councils, county councils, all kinds of councils were transferred en masse to counties. Yeah. At the same time, there was lack of skilled personnel. So the governors, the first lot of governors who came in, had to hire specific people because, for instance, they had to hire chief of staff, they have to hire county secretary, they had to hire, CCs and COs. So they hired the first lot of people to augment the people that they had inherited from the municipal councils. And then from there, subsequent governors have always come in with their people, like it is always the case. Yeah. Now, unlike sometimes in the national government, there has not been a route for getting rid of some of the people who have been hired. Yeah. So what has been happening is that the wage bill has been increasing. Now, if you look at out of that wage bill, the wage bill on health, and it is very important for Kenyans to understand, health actually takes about 60% of the total wage bill. Yeah. All the way from the dispensary to level 5 hospitals. So even when a governor says that I'm building more hospitals, those are buildings, okay? And I know there are some people who have been, talking more about let's have a building in every village. Yes. At our time, we found that the members of parliament had put up actually health centers and dispensaries, but we could not get resources to get people, to get doctors and nurses as far down as where the members of parliament could have wanted. So 60%, because agriculture and health were devolved. 60% is in health. We need more health, like I'm saying. We need people to be, more people to be closer to dispensaries and so on. So on that front, you see that the wages and the salaries have taken a very big proportion.
Okay.
Now, on top of that, when now, due to COVID-19, okay, of course, the mismanagement of counties by having a budget bigger than the revenues that you can collect, there has been an accumulation of pending bills.
Pending bills, yeah.
So pending bills would be what at the national government you would probably call pending bills, yes, but also the foreign and domestic debt. So essentially what you're saying, and this varies from one county to another, essentially what you are saying, because like for instance in Kiambu, you remember, there was Thika municipality, there was Kiambu municipality, there was Ruiru, Kiambu, there were so many, all of those coming into the county. Others were not the same. So it is not homogeneous, it is very heterogeneous, but it is true, we need to address the issue of what proportion of the money that goes to the county and to the national government that goes to development as opposed to the current expenditure.
It's a good thing you've mentioned that inheritance of this wedge bill from the previous city inspectorates that existed then. And this devolution for this year, 2025, has come with certain goodies. We've seen the gazettement by President William Ruto of those immovable assets. We've seen now 50,000 parcels of land have been reverted back to the counties, and close to 80,000 buildings have been given back to the counties. This, on paper, could look as a plus, but then again, it could be an avenue of leaders to actually further exacerbate the graft that we are seeing in these different countries. So how then do you align these two issues and operate within that thin line of saying to it, now that we have these assets, we tackle these issues that have been existing?
I think it has been very good because what the president did, because the intergovernmental committee, they call it intergovernmental regional committee has always been looking at those assets and saying how are they going to be transferred back, because they actually were owned by national government, but because the functions were devolved, then they are devolved with like farmers training centers, for instance. Kiambu here we have Wambo, Warohio. Nyeri, they have Wambogo. So that farmer training center essentially belonged to the Ministry of Agriculture. But what you are saying now is because agriculture has been devolved, take it back to the county. So it is good that what belongs to the county has been taken to the county. But at the same time, the president did an extra activity, which was to make the county assemblies independent.
Yes.
He mentioned that, and he said he has accented to the requirement and the role of making county assemblies independent. What that means, because you see, essentially what was happening was that money was coming to the county government, and then the county government, from the, once they get money from the controller of budget, say you get 1 billion shillings, you would stay with that money, and it was a requirement that you then pass on maybe 10% or 12% of that money back to the county assembly. So the county assembly was very, very dependent on the county government, to the extent that the governor could decide to frustrate the county assembly by not remitting their money. There are instances that I know where county assemblies have arrears of up to 4 or 5 months because the governor would want to limit their activity. Now that they are independent, what we are expecting is that the county assemblies are going to become stronger. They should be able to vet the budget much more closely so that they know what they have passed. After they have passed the budget, they should come in and ensure that the budget is being implemented so that later on they can do an audit before the national audit is done. So we are expecting that that takes place. I'm also appealing that now that we have celebrated 13 years, why don't we also start to strengthen social accountability? Social accountability involves you and I. There are so many professionals in these counties. Whether you are talking about IPAC, whether you are talking about Law Society of Kenya, and even some have come together to form county professional caucuses. Can those now start to hold the counties accountable? Can the people be told that we are going to do 10 kilometers of 2 inches of tarmac? Okay, people who pass that in the participatory meeting, And then, can they come back and say, did we really do 10 kilometers on 2 inches of tarmac? So that is what I call social accountability.
Right.
So you should have people, instead of people complaining, you should have people being involved in the generation of these projects, in the management of these projects, and the audit, the final audit of these projects. So whereas, yes, to those who have more will be given, so if you have more resources, then you expect probably there will be more kinds of losses here and there. I think it's time now we start establishing internal mechanisms and internal controls to ensure that we hold the county governments accountable.
I mean, what you're talking about is the Ascension Bill, or the President assented to, which is the County Public Finance Laws Amendment Bill, to give these MCAs that financial autonomy.
Yes.
Now, when you're looking at the primary and key role of MCAs is to oversight, and one would actually relate it or juxtapose it with what we are dealing with when it comes to the national government, where we have MPs not necessarily focusing on what their mandate is, but rather on development, which essentially devolution came in to solve. So are we not likely to see the same thing trickling down to counties now that you've given them financial autonomy? Does it not therefore take away that critical role of oversight of the devolution?
First of all, we don't know how the NGCDF, debacle is going to go. As you can see, there are two schools of thought. I belong to the school of thought that says that they should the members of parliament should be involved in their three functions: oversight, representation, and registration.
Yes.
And you cannot do oversight when you are doing development. But you know, traditionally, in this country, it was made in such a way that members of parliament were seen to be the ones bringing development. In fact, you can say CDF was an output of people's clamor of development, because they were asking the MP, since you came, this road has not been done. Since you came, we don't have water. So that is what drove devolution. And I have to say that, the whole test of devolution in this country CDF kind of worked. Now, it's time now we ensure that they stick to their functions.
Yes.
And I know in counties, the MCAs have been clamoring for ward fund.
Ward fund, yeah.
Which is the equivalent of NGCDF.
NGCDF, yes.
When I was governor, I still knew that we could have kind of like a ward fund, which is still under the county government, but not money transferred to the MCA to manage.
Yes.
But the MCA to know that in my ward, I have been allocated 20 million shillings or 30 million shillings or 100 million shillings for roads, for water, for health, and whatever. So you saw that you supervise that money without necessarily putting that money to the MCA's kitty as a ward development fund. I think now that they have been strengthened, now that they have been given more powers and privileges, you would expect that particularly the oversight function will be more in terms of their inclination.
With this new law that has come into play, it's stripped off that financial responsibility from the finance CEC, basically from the executive, and put it on the county clerks sort of behest. Does it solve that issue?
Not necessarily. I think it's good to get this the essence of this rule. I think the essence of this rule is that when the money comes to the county government, say the money, the county government, government's budget is 12 billion, say per year. Now, when that is prorated, because the money is given out every month, they receive 1 billion every month. When they receive 1 billion every month from the controller of budgets, part of that money, 10 to 15%, is money that goes to managing the county assembly. Their own salaries, their own, transport, their own everything put together. Now, before this rule was assented yesterday or the day before, the money was going to the county government, and then the county government would decide whether to give to the county and when and how much. Now, what is happening is that the county of the controller of budget will be sending money direct to the county assembly, as they are sending money to the national government, to the county government.
Executive,
So it is not the development money that is going to go to the county assembly. It is their own management, learning cost and everything. That's why I'm saying, now that you will not be delayed, now that you don't have to go and worship the governor to pay you, now that you are freer in terms of what you can do and how you can manage it, then they can now have powers of oversight more than before.
Okay. And you personally, yes, you served Kiambu for the years that you did, and MCAs blamed the government, the governors from different counties, that they were being frustrated. Would you say the same? Did this reach you?
No. And history there is there to be told. Remember, and it is important for people to know that I became governor 31st of January 2020.
Yeah.
And 13th of March 2020, COVID broke.
Came. Yeah.
So I was governor without COVID for only 1 month.
Give or take, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So we managed COVID together with the county assembly and everything else, because it meant doing some, budget appropriation, new changes. We managed together. One thing, and the speaker then of the county assembly would tell you, one thing that I did was to ensure that every time we get an exchequer, we call it an exchequer, the money coming from the control of budget, that the money, which was kind of like 100 and something million, the money belonging to the county assembly was going to the county assembly. Okay? If there was delay for everybody. Because essentially, why would you want to hold money that belongs to other people? Those people are using fuel, they are using per diem, they are using whatever. We were not doing that. And my speaker, Honorable Stephen Disho, will tell you that we used to sit down and they used to track when the exchequer has arrived. And he would call me and I would say, it's on the way. Okay? And that does not always happen. Of course, sometimes we would get situations where, and this is very practical. For instance, if you delay in paying KRA, okay? KRA, there's a term they use. KRA would capture your money before it gets to the county. It has captured all the money, including the county assembly's money. So you sit with them and tell them, look here, we now have to discuss with KRA because this has happened. Now, if there's a huge bill, like during COVID, for KEMSA, okay, there's an accumulated bill, and now KEMSA cannot release some money to you. You talk to them and say, can I release maybe 3/4 or 60% as we wait for the next exchequer so that we can clear KEMSA? So through a mutual understanding. But now what we are saying, that room is not there, because where county assemblies have been frustrated, that is gone.
Over and done.
Yeah. They are now fully independent in their operation.
Okay, just before we take this break, I mean, COVID was a unique occurrence. It was a unique situation. Let's revert back to the normal day-to-day operations where county operating normally, they also get the disbursement from the national government. Would you say that if things are running normally the way they are right now, that all these counties and the MCAs shouldn't be complaining? At least from the point you're operating as a governor, you've said you've done it very well.
I know they should not be complaining, but they are complaining. I have told you that I have evidence that some counties have not been given money for as long as four months.
4 to 5 months.
4 to 5 months. Because essentially what it means is that if you are controlling the kitty, you would also want to limit. Like for instance, when it comes to audit, and these people need to go out and audit the projects. If you make sure that there is no vehicles or there is no money to move or whatever, then you limit the extent to which they will go and audit you. So there is a temptation to do that, and I think what happened yesterday really was the best for the county assemblies, because they have no reason now for not holding the county governments accountable, and they have no reason of why they should not involve the public, as I said, to do this social accounting, particularly if they do not have their own projects. They can cover. They can say, people from my village will not audit whether this water project succeeded or not, or this bridge was built or not, if they are the ones building it. But if indeed they are not the ones building it, they should be on the side of the Mwananchi to say this bridge was supposed to be this length, but it's not.
All right. Well, let's take a short break right here on Amka Kenya. When we get back, we continue with the conversation.